Hello, book besties.
I'm Albie.
And I'm Nikki,
Welcome to Backstage with the Book Babes.
where we spill the tea on the secret lives of your favorite romance authors. We've got a fantastic author with us today who writes small town romance, and she's Canadian as well, so we can't wait to introduce you to her. But first off, what have you been up to, Albie?
I'm currently doing dev edits on Bro Awesome, which comes out in June. It's the Trick Shot Athlete Why Choose book, the third book in the Bro series. I'm also currently planning GR Lit Fest with 3 other authors. It's a week-long literary festival here in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So you're
What
busy.
about you? Oh my gosh, so busy.
Yeah, I'm finishing up my next book, which is the Celebrity Cowboy crossover one, which I'm very excited about. I have to get it to the editor for April 7th, so that's in just over a week. So, I'm in deadline mode, which is chaos and exhaustion,
Love it.
but we love it. Yeah. Yeah. So that's what's going on with us. But now we are very excited to introduce you to Bailey Hannah, a huge book babe. Welcome to you, Bailey.
Welcome.
Hi. So excited to be here.
So we're glad to have you on with us today. Can you tell us a little bit about your books to start off?
Yeah. So my ears perked up as soon as I heard you say cowboy. 'Cause
Yes,
That's
yes.
what I write.
I love it.
Yes. Yeah. So I write cowboy romance. They're all set in BC because that's where I'm from. My main series is the Wells Ranch series. And so there's 5 books. The 5th one's coming later this year. And it follows the different brothers and a couple of the ranch hands, all interconnected standalones as they find love.
Love it. We love
that.
love here.
That's awesome.
Love it.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, of course. That's why we're all here.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. So how did you get inspired to do these ranch hand cowboy romances, specifically small town?
Yeah, so I grew up in rural BC, small town BC, and my grandparents had a cattle ranch, so my dad grew up on that, and I went to school and got a biology degree because everyone told me not to go into the arts. And now here I am. But so I worked for the government with the Ministry of Agriculture for about 5 years, and I worked pretty closely with ranch owners and stuff. And so it just kind of made the most sense to me to just write about the environment that I already have some understanding of, at least. So
Makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's the spice factor. So what can you tell us about your books? How spicy are they?
it's so hard, isn't it?
Yes,
To
so
turn
hard.
in. I'll see some people tag me and they're like, oh, it's a 2 out of 5. And then others are like, it's a 5 out of 5. And I'm
Oh.
always, it's so hard. It just depends on what you read, I think. But for me, I would say the pretty solid 3. Like, they're definitely explicit. Probably 5 or 6 scenes in each book. Some of them can get a little kinky. Like my latest release that came out in December has a little bit of light femdom aspects. Like she ties him up in the barn. So,
Oh my God.
they're spicy for sure.
So the funniest thing about that is before you came on, Albie and I were just talking because I just wrote a scene like that because that's
I love it.
the first book in my series is she's in charge. So that's really
Yes,
funny.
we need more of it.
Yes.
There were so many people that were messaging me after they read it and
Yeah.
saying that awoke something inside of them.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, good,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
I love it. And then other people that were like, okay, that was great. Can you get even more intense into the femdom stuff? Like, okay, maybe I
Nice.
need to also just slowly wade in. I can't
Yes,
go
exactly.
from 0 to 100 with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
my
We were
God.
just talking
Yeah.
about that.
It was so much fun to write.
Mhm.
Like her being so in charge and him just being the simpy, pathetic,
Yes.
just on his knees for her.
Yes.
I love it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's perfect. We need more of that in books.
Totally. There's too much of like, look, I love a dominant guy calling her a good girl, but there's just something about it. Her knowing what she likes, and he's totally down to just be a good boy.
Yes.
I love it.
Exactly. We need more good
That's
boys,
it.
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. That's
Yeah.
why we're writing them.
Yeah.
So I think you're one of the first, if not the first author we've had on who has literary representation. Could you tell us a little bit about the process of worrying to get your agent?
Yeah. It was a interesting process because I ended up with my agent differently than most people do. Although I feel like it's starting to become more common now because more traditional publishers are
Yeah.
approaching indies. But before I self-published my first book, I was querying for almost a year and it wasn't getting me anywhere. It was rough. So kudos to the people who stick it out until they find an
Yeah.
agent. Feel like at a certain point I probably would have just given up. But then I got lucky and a publisher approached me with an offer, and querying, let me tell you, moves a lot faster when you are going to agents, emailing them saying, hey, I have an offer in hand. All of a sudden, within 2 hours, I had multiple emails back from people being like, it was on a Friday. They were like, can we set up calls with you on Monday? And by Tuesday, I had already talked to everybody. And I was like, amazing. This is incredible. Why couldn't this have happened months ago? Instead, I was
Yeah.
out there just in the trenches. So, yeah,
They're
so that's how I
knocking
ended
down
up
your
with my
door
agent.
now.
You literally,
Yeah.
it was like, oh, I went from nobody's interested to all of a sudden I have multiple offers of representation and I get to choose. What do you
Yeah.
mean?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really interesting too, because one of the first things when I started writing is they said, like, don't go to the publishers because if you've already been turned down by a specific publishing house, more agents aren't going to
Oh,
touch you because now they can't go to their specific person in that house and get you farther ahead because you've already been told no.
yeah. Yeah.
Interesting. I think the
It
publishing
is.
landscape is really changing, though, with
Oh,
the
yeah.
advent of so many indie
And this was a
authors.
few years ago.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
gaining a lot of success, and then publishers recognizing that and be like, "Oh, well, now you already have success, so we're just gonna
Yeah.
piggyback on that," you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I mean, yeah, a few years ago, it was still don't self publish because if
yeah,
you do, like if you have any
Mhm.
interest in being traditionally published, don't self publish
yeah,
because you're just completely ruining your chances of ever
yeah,
getting a book deal. Or it's going to have to
Mhm.
be under a different pen name or something. Like,
yeah, yeah,
and
Mhm.
now
yeah,
I tell people like, all the time, I'm so glad that I self published
yeah.
first because then when I got a deal with a publisher, I went in already knowing my worth and
Oh,
having so much understanding of not only how to write a book, but how to market a book. And I feel like they
Yes.
really take my opinions seriously and they want to hear from me about cover design and about marketing strategies and all of these things. And I also just have the confidence to go
yeah,
into those conversations knowing what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. And so now I'll tell people all the time, I'm like, no, no, no. Now, if you want a trad deal, I think the better route is to self publish and hope that it works out.
yeah,
Because either way, it's
Mhm.
kind of just luck.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
whether
Yeah.
you query and get picked up or you self publish and get picked up, it's
Yeah.
yeah,
Because
in God's
even
hands.
even trad, you still have to do a lot of your own marketing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
now you know how to do it from all that time in
Yeah.
yeah,
indie, so that way you can guarantee the success of your trads probably too.
Exactly. And like, I just have a way better understanding of what readers are looking for in terms of pre-order incentives or just different marketing strategy.
For writers, not speakers.
Yeah,
yeah,
I get to edit my words normally.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh my
So,
gosh, that's
did you? How
awesome.
many books had you independently published before you got that deal? Was it just the first one book?
It was the first 2.
The first two
So,
books.
it was after the first one that I was approached, and then I got my agent, but then we actually ended up walking away from that offer
Oh,
and went out on
Okay.
submission and got a different one, and so in that time frame is when I self-published the second one. I had it all ready to go,
yeah.
and there was a minute there where I was like, "Oh god, are we gonna be a couple weeks out from release and I'm gonna have to just say, 'Psych, everybody, it's not coming out now.'" Which is kind of what ended up happening with the third book too, because of just how long the contract process takes. So
Okay.
I knew
Mhm.
that it wasn't going to be
Oh,
published, but I had to basically just keep lying to people. I couldn't all of a sudden be like, oh, it's not coming out in September like I told you all it was. So then all of a sudden people in August are like, when are you sending out ARCs? Why haven't you done a cover reveal? What's going on? And I'm like, stay tuned, stay
Secrets.
tuned.
that's
So I don't think it was very surprising to most people when I all of a sudden announced that it was going trad because they were like,
yeah,
yeah, you were acting a little
yeah.
suspicious for a while.
That's what I just saw that Chelsea
Yeah.
Curto had
Go
posted
ahead.
on her social media that all of her books were coming down from Amazon and whatnot as it's a certain day, and she's like, "I'm sure you can guess, but I can't tell you yet," sort of thing.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah,
Which is the
Yeah.
worst part of it.
yeah, yeah.
Exactly. How do you even keep a secret like that? I don't know that I could.
It's so hard. It's the worst.
Yeah. Like, don't
Yeah.
tell me anything that I shouldn't be telling other people
No.
because, like,
Seriously.
No. And
yeah.
especially, with that, because it was like so exciting and I
Yeah,
wanted to be
it's
able to scream about it. And then I'm
yeah.
having to go to book events and do all of these things. And I'm like, well, I can't just like lie to people's faces. It's one thing on the internet to say, stay tuned, like it's coming eventually,
Mhm.
but it's another to be in person. And they're like, so what's going on?
Yeah.
The cat's
My
being very
gosh, that's
obtrusive right
crazy.
now. Simon,
Oh,
behave.
goodness.
So then they picked up all the rights. So your your ebooks and your paperbacks are all trad now?
Yeah.
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 Awesome.
Okay.
And I had sold the audio initially for the first 2 books, so they don't
Mhm.
have those. So that also kind of made the deal a little bit interesting. So they do have the audio for books 3 through 5, but not 1 and 2.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the hard thing is, like, I've heard the challenges if you sell some of the rights, because they really want all of it. But I think I've heard 1 or 2 other romance authors that were quite big that did only their paperbacks and they kept the rights
Yeah.
to the ebooks.
So I
Yeah.
think one of the big publishers that's doing that is Bloom Books. So they're just picking
Yeah.
up paperbacks. So then the authors still own the rights to the ebooks and then possibly the audio too if they're doing that. But yeah,
Yeah.
they'd smart. That was a smart business model, taking advantage of all these not taking advantage, but taking advantage of the
Yeah.
opportunity of all these authors doing really well on Book Talk, being really successful.
Yeah.
And then they just kind of swoop in, they offer them the paperback deal, which is great for the authors too, because then you get a much
Yeah.
wider distribution, you get their marketing behind you, but you still own the rights to the ebook, which is nice.
Yeah. Yeah. It
Yeah.
is nice because then they get to keep their books in Kindle Unlimited and do whatever they want that way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fascinating. I don't know. I'm just so fascinated because I'm
Yeah.
currently indie. I know Nikki is too.
Yeah.
But we're like, I and Trad, we're like,
Just
Yeah.
we're seeing you
hybrid.
Definitely
type
pros
thing.
and cons. It is nice to kind of just hand over a lot of the not fun part of the job and be like, here you guys go. You can do, I don't have to deal with Amazon. I don't have to
Yeah.
do any of that anymore. I'll just give it to you.
Mhm.
You guys can do it, which is kind of the
Yeah.
one nice thing to giving them all the rights because I feel like it could get tricky trying to time like, okay, you guys are going to
Mhm.
put out the paperback and I have to make sure the ebooks out at the same time and like
Yeah.
how the rights around
Yeah.
covers would work and stuff, I don't
Mhm.
know, so
That's a good point. I
Yeah.
didn't even
Yeah.
think
it's
about
kinda
that.
nice to just give it all to
Hand it
them.
all over. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's great.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And so you said that you had kind of wanted to do the trad route originally, and then you did
Yeah,
indie.
yeah,
Okay.
and then
Yeah.
I really just self-published because I I needed something while I was querying to take my mind off of it because I was just obsessively
Mhm.
checking my email, and it was unhealthy.
Yeah.
So then I started writing the next book, and while I was writing that one is really when Elsie Silver and Lila Sage both just started
Mm.
to absolutely blow up.
Nice.
And I was like, well, Cowboys are having a moment right now.
Yeah.
And if I go query this book, it's not going to come out trad for a couple years probably. And by then I might have missed the
Yeah.
boat. And so I just
Mhm.
Smart. Yeah.
figured I would just go for it.
Yeah. That's the other thing too, watching the market of what's
Yeah.
coming and
Mhm.
Yeah, because trad moves so slow.
Yeah.
And it's definitely they move a lot
Mhm.
faster when they're picking up an indie book and they're re-releasing it.
Mm.
But otherwise,
Yeah.
it can be a couple years between when they buy your book and they publish it. And by then,
Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
the market could be saturated.
Yeah.
There's 8
Yeah.
billion cowboy romances all of a sudden now, and there
Yeah.
wasn't almost 3 years ago when I was writing it. So,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I kind of hit the
Yeah.
sweet spot with the hockey romance because I had it planned earlier and I started writing it, and then before I published it, as I was writing it, a couple books hit really big, and that
Yeah.
started to pick up steam. So that had a good release for my first book. You know, keeping up the momentum when it's getting really saturated is a little bit different.
it's
So
hard.
but now I'm just and then the cowboy one
Yeah.
is a spinoff. It was always going to be like a celebrity romance that took place on a horse farm. Initially, I
Mhm.
kind of had it like more equestrian, but then I was like, I can do a ranch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me as well.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm kind of thinking like Hollywood meets Heartland. That's kind of where I'm going with that. So
Yeah.
it's fun.
Love
It's
it.
fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've been a horse
No,
girl
I
since
think
I
it'll be
was
good.
a little girl. So it's fun. It's fun to write.
Yeah.
So
It
then I
is
also saw
fun.
you have, you have different publishers in Canada, the US, the UK, different markets. How does that work coordinating between the different regions?
It's pretty easy. So the US is sort of my main publisher. Um, and kind of have an interesting deal where US and Canada teamed up. So I get the full Canadian royalties versus them being treated as an international publisher, which is nice. And so I have editors both, and sometimes they will work together and I'll get notes from both. And sometimes I only get notes from the US editor. And then the UK just gets the finished product from my US publisher and they just go publish that. So, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just learning so much right now. I'm just
Yeah.
processing everything.
No, it's a lot. I'm on these meetings, especially in the beginning. There was a couple times where afterwards I would have a little debrief call with my agent, who thankfully is there for every single phone call, every meeting, and she can ask the important questions. Because afterwards she's like, "Do you have any questions?" No, I don't know. I was just happy to be there. Like, I don't know. Was I supposed to have questions? How am I supposed
Yeah.
to know what questions to ask?
That's funny.
Exactly. I was like, I didn't get the agenda beforehand so that I could know what questions to ask and like have them be smart questions too, because I
Yeah.
need time to think about it so that I can
Yes.
edit it and then
Yeah.
Yeah,
know.
exactly. Because you're a
Yeah.
writer, not a
Not a speaker.
Exactly.
yeah. Yeah.
Which is crazy that we decided to start a podcast.
I don't know why we did.
Now you have to be speakers, but you can edit this too, so it's fine.
True.
It's
Yeah,
like a book.
you're
That's
right.
true.
Yeah.
That's true. And then I think I saw that too that you have a Patreon, which not very many authors have, I don't think. Are you like publishing chapters ahead of time or like what content are you putting up?
I started it because one of my very good author friends, Kayla Gross, convinced me to, because she has a super successful Patreon and she essentially just posts not safe for work art, because where else are you going to post it without getting kicked off the internet? And she'll post some like bonus chapters. Yeah, so she convinced me. It's very much still a work in progress. I feel like it's been almost a year now and I'm still trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Because I mean, some months are easy. Some months you're like, oh yeah, I have nothing else going on. I can throw up a bonus chapter. Or all of a sudden I commission a bunch of art and it all comes in at the same time. But then there's other months where I'm on deadline and I can't possibly give them anything else. So it's trying to figure out that balance. But I do a lot of art, and for every book I'll get one or two pieces of not safe for work, very explicit, hot art. And so they are the only ones who get that. And then whatever else. We'll have Zoom hangouts sometimes and I'll send them swag. So especially like the higher tiers, they get some exciting exclusive swag and yeah. And then whatever else I can fit in. A bonus chapter, a little snippet from a work in progress, just anything.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, LB publishes their books in advance over on Ream, like chapters in advance, which is it's kind of a similar sort of system. But I think being trad published, you have to follow a line that's like a little bit different, right? In terms of what you can offer people ahead of time.
Yeah. It had for an anthology that's going to be coming out later, that's going to just be like published. I decided to do that and just post every week a chapter from that as I was writing it. And it was fun. It was fun. Definitely.
Awesome.
Maybe not every indie project, because it was very, I don't know if you find this, but it was very nerve-wracking to put up. I'm like, this is so raw still. Nobody else has read this and I'm scared. Like, everybody be nice to me. So I don't know if I'll do it for every indie project, but that one was kind of just, it was for fun. It was a little cheating novella. She cheats on her boyfriend with his brother. So I was just writing it for fun for me. So it didn't, like, I don't know, if people would have been like, what is this? This is garbage. It wouldn't have hurt my feelings quite as much as like a book that I'm pouring my heart and soul into. So
I think the thing is, though, when you have people on your Patreon, they're paying to be there. They're already your fans. So it's a little bit of a safer space than
definitely
just putting it out into the world.
Yeah. I think they like seeing the difference of like your first draft or maybe your second draft and then the final product, because I know the book that I have up there right now for Bro Awesome, it's going to change drastically for the final version. So I think people like to see that difference too.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I think so too.
Yeah.
It also was sort of challenging for my writing too, because there was a few times where I was like, oh, I can't just go back and change that now because I already posted that chapter a couple weeks ago, but the story's going in a different direction now or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
You have to plan a little bit more. right? Plan a little bit
Yeah.
better ahead of time. That can be
Yeah, because
hard
I don't.
because yeah, because characters go into chaos mode anyway, and they'll just go off and do their
They
own thing.
do.
What do you
Yeah.
do when
They
they go
do.
rogue on you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you see any more like future growth in serial fiction in the romance industry, or even like any sort of trad version of that? Because I feel like there's a lot of sites out there that do serial fiction, but
Mm.
with Kindle they shut down their Vella. I know at least one
Yeah.
other serial fiction app kind of went down,
Radish.
but
It
oh yeah.
kind of surprises me because with how short everybody's attention spans are,
Mhm.
I don't know. But then I guess people also do love to a good binge. And even with
Mhm.
streaming services, there's a lot of people who will wait until the entire show's out. If Netflix is only posting an episode a week, or people even do that with whole book series, which is
Yeah.
frustrating.
Yes, for sure.
Like,
Yes.
please don't wait until the series is done before you start it because the author probably can't afford to finish writing the series if you wait.
Yeah.
Got
Or they'll
editors to
think it's not
pay.
popular and stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've seen that happen.
Oh,
Authors have been like, "Oh, well,
absolutely.
nobody's reading this one, so I'm just going to stop." And people were
Mhm.
like, "We wanted it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But nobody had said earlier.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, we're all trying to earn a living. And especially if you're an indie author and you don't have a book advance or anything or
Mhm.
deadlines, you don't have a publisher telling you you have to finish writing it,
Yeah.
then you're just going to quit and move on to something else, maybe.
Yeah. Yep,
Mhm.
for sure.
Our cats require a lot, so
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. You got to sell books.
Okay. And children.
Mhm.
I have children, so, I gotta feed them.
Yeah. Yeah. They require a lot, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
even more. My goodness. So we've talked a lot about online things, but what about in-person events? Do you tend to go to different ones each year? Do you favor the same ones? Do you not go at all?
Yeah, my feelings about them changes depending on the day, I think.
Mhm.
Especially lately, there's just been so many that have been poorly run or whatever the case may be. And so it makes me nervous,
Yeah.
especially because we have to apply for these things or accept invites for them and sometimes pay for them years before the actual event.
Mhm.
And you have no idea if they're actually going to follow through on anything.
Mhm.
So, yeah, at this point, there's a few that I've gone to and I enjoyed, and so, like, Romance Invades the Canadian Rockies, because it's in Alberta too, it's not too far for me to go, so I'm like,
Mhm.
I can keep going to that when it fits in my schedule because it's well run, I already
Yeah.
know everything's gonna go smoothly once I get there, my readers are gonna be there, but as far as applying for any new ones, I've kind of stopped. Also, with the whole US situation
Yeah.
that makes me
Yeah.
nervous. I don't
Yes.
want to apply for something that's a year or two from
Mhm.
now and have to pay hundreds of dollars for it and then have
Yeah.
to drop out and just lose that money.
Mhm.
Yeah. And the one also interesting part of being traditionally published now is that I'm not selling my own books there.
Mhm.
So I'm still paying out of pocket. Like my publishers, for the most part, aren't paying for me to go to
Yeah.
any of these things. So I'm paying to go and then watching the bookstore on site sell my books,
Mhm.
which is, I mean, I don't have to bring stock, which is great. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's also
But there's
just
a
way
difference
more
in
expensive and
income
I
for
don't
that.
have any way to earn my money back.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that makes sense, yeah.
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 Does your publisher send you on any book tours or anything like that?
We haven't yet.
Okay.
Hopefully for the next series we will, but yeah. I've gotten to go to a couple events, which is fun because I'm like, "Oh, this is so nice." If I don't have to pay for it, I don't care if it's
Yeah.
not super well run or if nobody shows up, like, whatever, it doesn't matter,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I was lucky. I went to several last year, and
Mm.
all of them were good, except for there was one I went to that was not well attended, but the rest of them were all really good, really well organized, and most of them were first time events. So it was just kind of a
That's good.
lucky
Yeah.
situation. I was
Yeah,
out in
that is
Alberta
lucky.
actually. I went to the Romance A in Edmonton, and it was a great
Oh,
time.
yeah.
I had a blast there.
Yeah,
I'm going back this
that's
year,
good.
which I'm excited about.
Yeah. Sounds fun. One of these days I'll get there. In
Yeah.
April, I'll get there, Canada. When you were going to in-person events for your
Mhm.
indie books, did you have a favorite thing about it?
Meeting the readers.
Yeah.
That's my
Yeah.
favorite part. Yeah. Even getting messages from readers and stuff. That's what keeps me going for sure.
Yeah.
And I write books that tend to cover a lot of really hard topics. So it's
Mm.
just, it's great getting to give people a hug and talk about the books and talk about the impact that they've had. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
that means a lot, especially when you're
Oh, yeah.
so in your head all the time and working alone and in isolation, which is
Yeah.
what we spend a lot of our time doing as authors, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So we jumped right into the business side of things, but tell us a little bit about your writing process. You said before that you're not much of a plotter. You just kind of
No.
jump into it. How does that work for you?
Yeah, yeah. I've kind of had to switch because also I have to tell them what the books are going to be about. So it hasn't been announced yet. Maybe by the time this podcast comes out, but if not, then everybody who's listening,
Just be quiet.
keep this to yourselves for the time being. But I sold a new series to come after my Wells Ranch series, and it was just sold on proposal. So I'm currently on deadline to write the first book. But yeah, so it was hard. I had to be like, how am I supposed to know what the books are going to be about? I won't know until I start writing it because the characters are just going to tell me what's happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that kind of forced me, but I kind of do like having a loose. It's not super strict. I'm definitely not
Yeah.
going chapter by chapter saying what's going to happen. It's just sort of an overarching, this is how they're going to meet and this is what the big conflict's going to be and this is how it will be resolved, and it's been kind of nice having that because before I was just fully flying by the seat of my pants.
Yeah.
Are you able to change that if the characters are like, nope, that's not what our conflict is going to be? Like, are you able to change it? Or
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, they just care more about it being a good book.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, even the single mom romance that I wrote for book 4 in Wells Ranch series, in my pitch to them, I had said that at the end, her and her new man and her baby daddy, like they were all going to be one cohesive, happy family unit. And then as I was writing it, I was like, oh, no, her baby daddy's a piece of shit and he will not be redeemed. There's no redeeming him. He's getting worse as the book goes on and I hate him more and more and more. So by the end, he's just going to have completely stepped out of the picture.
Good. Get
And
rid of
nobody
'em.
questioned it. So that's great.
That's good.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. So when you're writing, do
Um,
you have do you have like a routine? You like to write at a certain time of day? Or do you have any must-haves for your writing sessions? Do you like music, snacks?
Yeah, no real routine. I'm flying by the seat of my pants with that one too. I have a 5-year-old, and so she started kindergarten back in September. And so before that, it was really, I was just, I don't know, writing whenever I could get a spare moment in, basically. But then now that she's been in school, I'm trying to get a routine, but it's
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
It's
Mm.
hard. Sometimes I'm definitely still writing at 1 o'clock in the morning or whenever I have free time because all of a sudden those hours that she's in school fly by so fast and then
Mhm.
she's home and then it's after school activities and dinner and then I'm like, oh shit, I haven't
Yeah.
written anything today.
Yeah.
Whoops. But yeah, when I am writing though, I like to have set the mood with a little candle warmer, and I love chai lattes. So I'll like make that, and that always kind of helps. At this point, it's like my body just knows, okay, we're in the writing zone now. You have your chai latte. I'll put on some music. A month or so ago, I was listening to Candy Steiner and Gianna Darling's podcast,
Nice.
and they suggested this app called Sound FM, and it plays like it's science backed or whatever to help you focus. And so I've been dabbling with that. Sometimes I still want to listen to just like I have a playlist that I listen to all the time called Depressed Cowboy Shit. And so I'll listen to that sometimes too. But when I really need to get into it, that Sound FM is really good. So
Nice.
I always have to have something going on in the background
Yeah.
for noise though.
Yeah. Have to check that out.
Yeah.
Do you have any specific scents you like in your candle warmer?
Just whatever. What do I have right now? Well, I have smells like she's writing a bestseller.
Oh,
I don't know what it is. It's kind of,
I
yeah.
I have a candle that says that too, but it's
Well, I love it.
I got this for free at the Author Nation conference. I won that on the Spin the Wheel from
Nice.
Authors Republic. I don't even know what that is, but
Nice.
that's really funny.
Yeah. Just whatever. Sometimes I'll try to be like, let me get something that's going to fit the vibes
Yeah.
of the book. But sometimes it's just whatever candles I have around.
Yeah.
It's more just about like the ambiance, we got the nice little warm glow of the candle warmer and yeah.
I like a little soft scent too. It's nice. For
Yeah.
sure. I realized I stole Elby's question on the last one, so I'm just
You're
gonna.
fine. I have no qualms. I'm just sitting here vibing. Like, I'm just glad to be here. That's it. I've got my tea. I'm happy. I'm good.
Yeah.
So speaking of getting in the mood, soft scents, and kind of relaxation, we all know it's difficult to be an author, indie, trad, hybrid. So do you have to take any steps to avoid burnout, refill your well?
Yeah, definitely. I try to focus on self-care a lot. I'm a big bath girly year round, doesn't matter. So I will take a bath, I'll read a book. Obviously, there's times like when you're getting close to your deadline where it is what it is. You got to work and just power through it. But then I do always take a break as soon as it gets sent to my editor. While she's reading it for those few weeks, I am not doing anything unless it is absolutely necessary. I'm just reading. I'm going for walks outside if the weather's nice. I'm taking baths. I'm hanging out with friends, just trying to. If anything, though, then I'm trying to cram as much as I can of that
Yeah.
into those few weeks. But, it always helps because by the time I get to my deadline, my body is falling apart. This is a problem.
Yeah.
Like in those last couple weeks, all of a sudden I have weird ailments. There's just strange things going on. So then I'm like, okay, I need a massage and then I need a few weeks of just nothing after. So that definitely helps, not just immediately jumping into the next project. Even if I want to, sometimes my brain's just gunning to start the next book
Yeah.
because those characters being loud in my head. I'm like, no, I need to stop. So
Yep.
So impressive.
Keep quiet.
I've never successfully done that. I'm always like, oh, I got this to my editor. Let me quick work on this thing so that I can get
Right.
ahead and I can impress her and she can be all amazed. She's not impressed yet.
No,
But
she's not amazed.
Oh, that's so funny. I took one weekend
she's probably
off.
listening.
One weekend off this year. It's the first full weekend I've taken off from author stuff in a few years on Valentine's
there's
Day
always
weekend. And it was
there's always
nice. I loved
stuff.
it. Spent some time with the husband. And then on Monday, I was like, oh my God, I have so much stuff to do. So much catch up to do. It's hard.
I mean, that is the downside to taking a break.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Yeah.
If you're breaking, who's doing the
100%.
admin stuff?
Well, yeah. No, there's definitely, that's why I said, unless it's something
Yeah.
that needs to be done, if there's an email from my agent or something, I need to respond to it. But I'm not, outside of daydreaming about the characters for the next book or whatever, which I guess counts as work.
Not writing.
But that's the fun stuff. I don't immediately jump into writing the next book or editing or whatever.
Nice.
Have you ever learned a fun fact or picked up a new skill while researching a book?
All the time. All the time. Usually things that aren't helpful at all, actually, but it's fine.
Yeah. Perfect.
I have said before on a panel when someone was asking a similar question that for one of my books, he is a saddle bronc rider. And I once spent at least 2 hours watching YouTube tutorials on because they put the saddles on the horse when they're already in the shoe. And so I watched videos on how to do that. Never once do I write that happening on page. But it was this thing where I was like, but I need to understand it. I need to know exactly how this happens. Just in case, as if someone's going to ask me to demonstrate. Prove that I'm qualified to write this book.
But now you're ready. You got a rodeo sometime. They need an emergency saddler. You can just hop in.
And I'm like, it's me. I can do it. And they're like, who's this chick? No. Why is she here?
Oh my God.
So yeah. I'm pretty bad about going down rabbit holes and stuff like that.
They're my favorite places to be.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly. I'm like, this is the fun part. The other night I was looking up I'm also writing a celebrity right now. She's a singer. And so I was looking at Rogers Arena in Vancouver and I was like, I wrote her walking across concrete flooring, downstairs where the artist dressing rooms are. And then I went, is it concrete flooring? Or is it do they have fancy? Because some of these arenas have really fancy artist dressing rooms. So then I was like, oh, I need to Google. I Googled, never did find the answer, ended up just deleting the type of flooring that she's walking across. But I did find all of the information if I were to want to rent Rogers Arena, all of their rules about rigging, pyrotechnics. So I was just reading through that for half an hour and then went, I don't know what kind of flooring's in there. Let's just delete the word concrete.
Well, the thing is, like the book that I just wrote, it's the roller derby one, but they work for a professional hockey organization and it's in Seattle. So I was like, okay, this is the Seattle arena, but
Yeah,
I made it a fic. Like I didn't use their actual name or anything. So I feel like
exactly.
I can take some creative license with that in
Yeah.
terms of like I kind of vaguely in terms of size and the plaza size where they'd hold an event and things like that. But, it's still a
I
fictional
always do that
arena.
too, yeah.
So
I don't, like, name the arena in
yeah.
the book or
Yeah.
anything,
Yeah.
but
You still need
I'm
to know the
like, if
details.
someone were to put 2 and 2 together, I want this to be as legitimate as
Realistic.
possible.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
As if
I
someone
would
who
have
knows the in-depth details of what's happening
Yeah.
in these places is gonna be reading
my
my book.
I would already be on the phone with them being like, "Can you walk me through the
Right?
flooring? Like, what's the layout here? Find a security
Could you
guard. Can
just
I go
send me
see
some
this
pictures
floor?"
quick?
Yeah, exactly. "Here's my number. Just text it to me."
Yeah.
Sir.
I need to know this. I will not sleep until I know this.
Exactly.
Simon is just all up in my grill today. I don't know what's with
Oh
him.
my goodness.
Uh,
Boys, I tell you.
he's like, pick me, pick me. What do you find for you is the hardest thing about writing romance or even or books in general?
That's a good question. Find for me, it's getting to know the characters. It's also one of my the funnest parts,
Yeah.
but it is really hard because again, I'm not planning very much here, and I definitely am not planning anything about the characters outside of their names, which sometimes even those change. And so it's that first 30,000 words of every single book is so, so hard. It feels like pulling teeth because I don't know anything about these people yet.
Yep.
And things can be changing from one chapter to the next, and it's stressful.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I love to just try and get through that as fast as possibly can.
Yeah. And then once you get to know them, you can kind of
The number of times that I've had to go back and rewrite those 30,000 words.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. You
Yeah.
got to go back and rewrite because you're like, that's
It's
not
it's
who
rough.
they are.
No, you all of a sudden because all of a sudden the character pops up and goes, "Hey, surprise! Actually, here's some childhood drama I didn't tell you about until now."
Yeah.
You're like,
Exactly.
"Cool, thanks. Why couldn't you have told me that in the beginning? Why'd you
True.
wait until we were 40,000 words in?"
Yeah. Exactly. Sir, he's
Gosh.
standing on my trackpad now. Like, come on, dude. Oh my goodness. What are you doing?
We're professionals. We
You're
swear.
gonna have to move, sir. Oh
I
my
have
god.
my office door closed, or my cat would probably be doing the same thing.
Usually he's not bad. Like usually he'll lie on the bed, but I don't know what's with him today. He must really like you. I guess. My goodness, Simon. Dave.
Oh my goodness. So if you could go back in time and do one thing over for your books, what would it be?
For my first one, I wish I hadn't been so hung up on word count because everybody was on I don't know who everybody is, but the people of the internet, Google, told me romance needs to be under 100,000 words. And so I was like, okay, it does. And I feel now like I could have had so much more character growth and everything had I not been so hung up on this 100,000 word limit and I knew I was self-publishing it too, so I don't really know why I was so hung up on that, but I was. And as soon as I let that go and just let the story be what it needed to be, whether that's 100,000 words or 120,000 words or whatever, it was just so much better. And I feel like my books have been better. Yeah. It is what
Yeah.
it is. It's a learning experience. And I still think the book is good in spite of that, but I think it could have been even better had I just added another 10,000 words or something to it.
Fair. Yeah.
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 I think each story needs a different word count
Yeah.
number.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
So do you think you're going to stay in small town romances for a while, or are you eyeing another subgenre that you'd love to get into?
I'm gonna stay small town for the time being at least. I think I get too obsessed with my worlds and my characters. So I think everything forever is probably just gonna exist in the same universe at least.
Yeah.
I would really love to do a romantic suspense. So my first book has a little hint of suspense because she's on the run from her abusive ex. But I would really love to just go all in on a romantic suspense book. But I need to get a little bit better at my plotting, I fear, because I don't think, like, I need to know who the killer is or whatever at the very least, right? I don't think I can just
Yeah.
fart my way through that book.
Yeah, I feel like suspense, mystery kind of thriller. You do have a little.
I think I need to have, like, the whiteboard with everything mapped out for that one.
And
You
the
could get
the red strings.
string.
Yes.
You have your own little
That's what I
CSI
need.
situation
So I
going
need to
on.
get a little bit better at plotting first.
So, what is one thing that will let you know that you've made it as an author that's not money or that you've already achieved? Because obviously, you've had wide success and you've been recognized by a publisher. So,
Yeah. I think the one thing that really got me was the first time somebody got a tattoo for one of my books. That was like mind blowing to me. There were people that got tattoos for them before I even got one for my own books. And I was just like, whoa, okay, this is serious. Like, you're willing to put this on your body forever. That is insane. So,
Yeah.
at this point now, because that's already happened. So I would say, like, the next, an adaptation would be just
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know
For
that that's
sure.
like that I made it necessarily, but it just is one of
Yeah.
those big, huge goals that feels crazy. So I just
I feel like
want to sit on the set and
Yeah.
just sit in a chair. I'm not interested in, like, I don't need to be in the writer's room. I just want to be there and be like happy to be there. So
Yeah.
do you already have a dream cast?
no, I'm terrible at that. Every time I get asked about a fan cast, I'm like, I don't know. In book 4, the single mom one, her son's 10, and he says that the MMC looks like a discount Riley Green. And I really just did that so I could be like, there, everybody shut up. Now you finally have, like,
Yeah.
there's your one fan cast that I'll give you.
I feel exactly the same way. I feel like it's like, I just don't think I watch enough TV or consume enough visual media to know that many actors.
Yeah, me
Same.
neither.
So one of the other things we ask all the readers is, or all of our guests, is one question you'd like to ask readers and listeners. So we'll post it on our Instagram. You can comment on the YouTube video. So what's one question you would like to ask readers?
I want to know what their favorite microtrope is. Yeah.
That's a good one.
And I'm asking this because I'm currently writing. Like, constantly trying to figure out what to add to books. So,
Yeah.
Then one final question. If you could read any trope for the rest of your life, what would it be?
oh, that's so hard. I'm such a mood reader that I am all over the place. I would say, I guess, so the one trope that I think I would probably be able to read forever would be forced proximity.
There's so many things you can do with that trope,
Totally.
too.
100%.
It's probably a bit of a cheater answer because of that, but yeah.
I don't think so. I think it works.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Amazing. Okay. So thanks for coming out and letting us peek behind the curtain of your author life, Bailey. Before we forget, can you tell us what you're working on and when it will be released, where people can pre-order it?
So the next book that I have coming out is on July 10th. It's called Love Wells Kept, and it is the last book in the Wells Ranch series, but it's an interconnected standalone, so it can be read entirely independently, and you can pre-order it anywhere books are sold. It'll be available in all formats.
Amazing. Perfect.
And there's pre-order incentives. So if you go over to my social media, you can go claim those.
And then where can our listeners find you online so that and then we can post this in the show notes too?
And so I'm just at Bailey Hannah Writes, basically everywhere on all the social media platforms and Patreon.
Beautiful. And to our listeners out there, if there are any questions you think we missed and should have asked Bailey, pop them in the comments and we'll pass them on for you. Thanks so much for coming out with us, having a chat. It was great.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks for getting dirty with us. If you had fun, leave a review on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. New episodes will be released every Wednesday, and we've got an amazing lineup of authors to share with you.
If there's someone you'd love to see on our show, or you've got burning questions for your favorite authors, send us an email to backstagewiththebookbabes@gmail.com or leave us a comment on our social media accounts. You can find us on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok, Backstage with the Book Babes. Links and applications for authors to join us as guests are at linktree/Backstage with the Book Babes.
You can follow me, Albie Blake, with that handle on social media, specifically Instagram and TikTok.
You can follow me, Nikki Jewell, and learn about my books at authornikkijewell.com. I'm also on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at NikkiJewell_books.
Thanks again for joining the party. Keep turning those pages and keep it spicy.